Hello there, friends. It is Ken, your Thrifty Apprentice, and welcome back to week 3 in the third video in our month-long giveaway series. Now, we have already gotten through week 1 and week 2. If you have missed those, do not hesitate to go back and check them out. We will be announcing week 2's winner in this video. We will be reiterating week's 1 winner, and we will also be showing all the things that will be included in week 3's giveaway package. With that said, we are also looking at our third educational book for this month. This time we are looking at Ready to Paint in 30-Minute Trees and Woodlands in Watercolor by Geoff Kersey. Build your skills with quick and easy painting projects. This is also released by Tress. Guys, for the third week in a row, we are looking at a book that includes tracings for 32 step-by-step projects. Now, I have really enjoyed our previous 2 educational resources, which were 30-minute animals, as well as 30-minute flowers. So we are definitely making a progression here. We're learning how to do different elements across different compositions. Let's dive right in and take a look. Ready to Paint in 30-Minute Trees and Woodlands in Watercolor. Build your skills with quick and easy painting projects. Beautiful illustration of a tree on the front. And I will have to say that as I flipped through this book, read through the information, studied the projects, decided on what I wanted to do for this video, I'm glad that this is the third book in the series that we've been doing, because this one is progressively a bit more complicated than the previous 2, in my opinion. And I was really happy at that, because it did show, or I was able to build slowly throughout the month a progression of skills that I may or may not have known before trying one of these books. Let's flip it over on the back here. Ready to Paint in 30-Minute Trees and Woodlands. Do you want to learn to paint but are short on time? This complete beginner's guide to painting trees and woodlands in watercolor is perfect for you. Broken down into quick and easy paintings that take no more than 30 minutes to complete, Geoff Kersey's complete course will teach you step by step all the techniques you need for painting woodland scenes. The 30-minute paintings are all worked on postcard size, ideal for A6, which is 15 by 10 centimeters, or 6 by 4 inches watercolor pad, which is a little bit smaller than the 5 by 7 we were working on in the previous 2 videos. Each small painting is a work of art in its own right and can be stored in your portfolio for reference later, or framed and hung on the wall to impress your friends. Information on composition, watercolor techniques, and tips for painting specific type of trees are included. No need to draw. Outline tracings for all the exercises and projects are included. The perfect course for beginners and artists looking to develop their skills. And then, of course, here we have another artbookreview.net quote. This is a genuinely exciting evolution of a popular series. You will be guided through some simple exercises and on to complete paintings, gain valuable insight that will develop and improve your skill. And of course, as usual, we have our SKU code on the bottom and the pricing of $19.95 in the U.S., $23.95 in Canada, and $12.99 in the U.K. So let's crack this baby open here, and we're going to take a look. As with our previous 2 books, the first section of this one as well is nothing but traceables. We have traceables on tracing paper that you can transfer. So Geoff Kersey is an experienced watercolorist and is much in demand as a teacher and demonstrator. He lives and works in Derbyshire, UK, where he has a studio and he exhibits extensively. He has made over 30 watercolor DVDs and contributes to various art publications. I also add that he does have a YouTube channel, which I will be throwing up on the screen in case anyone would like to go and check out some of his current work or some of his other videos outside of this book. Here, we're showing a series. As you guys have realized by now, that these books are a part of a series. We're just looking at 4, but there are many, 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 many more, including street scenes and landscapes, if it's something you find yourself being interested in. So we'll just go ahead and jump past the first section, right? Those are our traceables, and we're going to get into the book itself. Beautiful illustrations I found throughout the book. Very, very encouraging and inspiring. Now, I do paint landscapes on a regular basis, but I will have to say that his style of landscapes is much different from mine. And I found myself really enjoying exploring this book, mainly because, like the other two, it's going to break everything down for you into complete details. All of the projects are written out step by step so that you can kind of easily follow along. All right, you're going to get your table of contents. This particular book was first published in 2018. And then, 2018. So there was no reprint of this one, as there have been with previous book printed in China through Asian Pacific Offset. Of course, again, table of contents, which breaks down the entire book for you. And then you're going to roll over into the introduction. As with the introduction in the other books, this is the author's way of telling you what you can expect throughout the rest of the book, or why they chose to do what they did, what inspired them to do this. All of those good, wonderful things are included in the introduction section. Then you'll flip over and you'll come into the basic painting equipment, where the author will once again in this book break down every single supply you will need, from your paper to your paints to your brushes and palettes and painting boards, masking fluids, brushes and soaps, craft knives, kitchen paper, masking tape, pencils, erasers, as well as water. So again, complete coverage, illustrations on the opposite side to kind of help you out. Then you'll go into handling watercolor. Now, this book, unlike the previous two, I do like this little section because this one breaks down filling your palette, choosing and using your brushes with the watercolor that you've chosen. It goes through techniques preparing your paint. And it even talks about washes and consistency of paint that you're going to need to kind of, become familiar with to tackle the projects throughout the book. Again, I love the way everything is always broken down just in the most layman's terms in these books. I think the publishers do a really good job of keeping the language across the series consistent, so that once you become familiar with it, it kind of flows from book to book without there being too much of a learning gap or a bridge to fill between the subject matters of the 30-minute book series. So here we have Trees Through the Season, where he's going to talk about the different landscape elements that you paint depending on the season of year that it is. And it's going to also give you a lot of example illustrations, which again, beautifully illustrated. And I really love the way that they came out digitally printed, full of detail in this particular book. And then you're going to actually jump into the projects. There's like 13 pages of introductory information for you to read through. And then the rest of the book, like the previous two, will be nothing but project after project. And I also believe that they progressively get a bit more complicated, as you move throughout the projects in the book. However, I do not think that anything that I have experienced with this book is so complicated that you would be hard-pressed to complete it in 30 minutes, maybe 40, or however long it takes you, because there really is no rush on learning, right? So I did flip through the book, kind of familiarize myself with the different projects, decide on the one that I thought would be pretty cool to do in today's demonstration. And the one that I chose, let me see if I can find it, was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun because it challenged me in so many different ways. As I said, I am a landscape artist, but this is a much more loose, here we go, summer trees is what I chose to paint. So this style is a little bit more loose, kind of bridging with what I do, which is a little bit more structured and detailed. So here you're going to have summer trees, which is broken down into 8 different steps. It does cover techniques as like glazing as well as re-wetting in this particular lesson. Another thing I love about these instructional books is that the techniques that they're talking about throughout the book, they keep flowing consistently through each project so that you're having to touch on it here and there constantly. You know, the more you do something, the more muscle memory you build and the more natural it becomes without thinking about it. And I love the fact that this book enforces the techniques of watercolor in that way. It's going to talk about what you will need for the project, and then it'll tell you a little bit about what's going on with the summer trees. As with the previous books, each step is accompanied by an illustration that is detailed enough for you to read through all of the instructions first, and then go back and possibly tackle the project by looking at the photos. So here's what we're going to do. Now that we are kind of familiar with our educational resource for today, I'm going to jump into the demo. We're going to knock out this summer tree. I do believe that I am going to just let music play in the background. I have not really decided on narration yet. We will see in just a moment as soon as that part of the video starts. But afterwards, we're going to come back. We will look at the medium that we use today. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about that because we are also looking at a brand new watercolor set. And then we will talk about the prize package for week 3 that will come along with a new copy of Trees and Woodlands 30-minute watercolor. We'll talk about the watercolor set and all the other great little knickknacks that'll come along in this giveaway. We will reiterate the winner from week 1, which unfortunately has not claimed their prize yet. And we will be announcing the winner from week 2. So let's jump into the video. You guys stay tuned. Let's jump into the demo. You guys stay tuned afterwards for all the announcement of the goodies and the gradies. So friends, I did decide to go ahead and do a bit of a voiceover, although it will not be a full one for the complete demo. Just wanted to share a few things and a few pointers of what I learned as I went through this. Now, I am doing this on 100% cotton, 140-pound cold pressed paper, which I have cut down. I cut it down to 4 by 12 and then folded it so it would be 6 by 4. Taped it down to my board and then took the traceable from the front of the book, graphited the back, transferred it to the paper, and then erased the graphite off of the transfer paper just to keep it in good condition for future use. Now, the suggested colors from the book, I had to augment because A, I was using a completely different brand, and B, I did not have the necessary colors that the book called for. So I had to kind of, substitute some of those colors in order to pull off the painting. But that's neither here nor there. It is something that comes gradually as you paint more and more, learning to kind of transpose those colors. So I started off with putting a very light wash of ultramarine mixed with a little of the cobalt blue in the sky, then made a grayed down purple mixture to just put in a few indication of some clouds in the background. Now, at this point, I'm covering step 1, step 2, step 3 of the book, moving into step 4. I did do a little bit of color glazing on top of the mountain just to give it a small misty effect. And then I'm going into actual painting the mountain. I covered it with a wash of the permanent yellow deep mixed with Derwent Ink Tints White. The instructions actually called for Naples yellow, which I did not have as a part of this set. So I knew that to mix Naples yellow, typically I'll use a yellow ochre and mix it with a white until I get the tone that I want. But I did not have a yellow ochre in this set. So I grabbed the white Derwent Ink Tints block, mixed it out on the palette, and slowly added my permanent yellow deep to it until I got a color that resembled was in the same ballpark of Naples yellow, and that's what I used to actually paint the mountain with. While it was still damp, I took a mixture of my phthalo green yellow shade, ultramarine blue, and cobalt blue in order to get a darker green mixture. And that's what I used to dab in along the horizon line, giving me the trees in the background. Of course, it was wet, therefore the trees kind of diffused and made all these different shapes and made it really easy to get that natural looking effect. Next came time for me to purple or shadow the mountains. And this is a deep violet. This violet is mixed from the ultramarine blue, a little cobalt blue, and a little of the, what is the red in this set? Fire red, maybe, I believe it was. But any of your brighter reds would work. And then I watered it down heavily. And that's what I used to paint in the shadow. I'm following the instructions and I'm following the pictures in order to know where exactly to place my shadows on that mountain. At this point, we're looking at steps 4, steps 5, step 6. Like I said, there's only 7. And a lot of this composition calls is for re-wetting, allowing a layer to dry and then re-wetting a certain part of the composition in order to get the next effect. And that's what's happening here. After I laid in the trees in the background, the shadow on the mountain, I allowed the picture to dry. And then using the re-wetting technique, I re-wet just small sections. And I'm dropping in different shades of green, along with a little bit of the permanent yellow deep and a little bit of the yellow color that I mixed from the mountain into the wet areas in order for them to just kind of fan out, flow and diffuse, and to make some tree shapes. Of course, this is wet in the wet, so it's not something that's super controllable, but it did give me some really abstract shapes that I was going to be able to form into trees as soon as this particular area dry. And you'll see there, I am doing like one tree at a time. I didn't wet the entire area because I didn't want the paint to just whoosh all over the paper, you know. I wanted it to kind of stay in that little controlled area, which is why you see me wetting one little section at a time and then going back in and dropping in my tones. This is a really different way of painting for me, and I found that I like it a lot. It's a lot less control than I'm used to when painting my illustrations. However, it was fun, and it felt good to give up control to the watercolor and to kind of chase its coattail. Let it do what it wanted to do, and then I take up the slack on the back end, right? So at this point, I'm painting the foreground. The foreground was simply a really watered down version of the tree line, and then using the darkest green that I mixed, I'm kind of just adding shadow into the foreground area. Super easy, super easy. It dried a little bit lighter than I wanted to, so I went back in with another layer of both the original green that I laid down and the shadow green in order to add just a little bit more depth to the entire thing. At this point, I'm moving on to adding the shadow into the tree line. Again, using the re-wet technique, I re-wet the tree line and then I'm dropping in my darkest green to create shadows. And you know, this is a delicate balance that you kind of do throughout this entire composition. It was challenging and fun, but easy, all wrapped up into one, if that makes any sense. I mixed me a really nice, rich brown. I did not have a burnt sienna in the Daniel Smith set, so I did borrow some of the burnt sienna dual ink tints block, since I had to sit out and I was using the white to make that somewhat Naples yellow color. And that is what I'm using to paint in the trunk, the bark, the trunk of the tree, and the branches that kind of run throughout the leaf area. What I was doing with the branches and the top of the tree was looking for those little spaces where color may not have completely gone in order to sneak in a branch here and there. And I think overall it had a really nice effect. It kind of brought those shapes together and really made them look like trees. You will notice that I omitted one of the trees. There are actually 5, maybe 6 trees in the original painting, but only 5 in mine. Just because I wanted to kind of give my composition a little bit more room to breathe. But that was complete artist's choice, something that you do or don't have to do. I tell you all the time, when you're using something as a reference, it's up to you to make the choice as to what to include or exclude based on your painting style. Here I'm just throwing in some broken fence pieces, a few of the wood panels that hold a fence up, which has worn out over time, just to finish the composition up and bring it together. And at this point, I'm at step 7 and step 8, wrapping everything up. I decided to throw a little of the yellow color that I made to go on the mountain in the foreground to warm it up a little bit. I'm going to sign the composition, outline it with my black fine liner as I normally do, so there's some good contrast against the white border from where the tape was. I'm going to actually remove the tape at this point in order to expose the white border, and that is going to give us our composition for today. I really enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on the other side to talk a little bit more in depth about the giveaway and the things that comes along in the prize package for week 3. And here we are with our completed project. As I said earlier in the video before the demo started, I really enjoyed doing this. I really enjoyed the process, and I actually learned a lot. Things that I'm going to be able to take over into my regular landscape and woodlands and seascapes, and really be able to implement them to possibly make my painting style better. So I really thoroughly enjoyed this project and this entire book overall. Now let's talk about the products that we used in today's video. Now, as you know, our very first 2 videos did touch on really economical, super high quality, 2 of my top recommended student grade sets. Now for video 3 and week 4, we are going to be stepping it up a notch, turning up the dial, and we are going to be stepping into 2 professional grade watercolors that will be included with the last 2 giveaways. In this video, we used Daniel Smith extra fine watercolors, but it was a little different. What you saw in the video is this palette, which is one of Christy Rice's little cute palettes. I think this was the Anemone palette. And in it, you saw me using quite a few colors, and these are all Daniel Smith extra fine watercolors. I initially started out with the 6-tube mixing set that I've had for a few years now, although I've never reviewed Daniel Smith on the channel. To that, I've added extra fine paint sticks. Now, paint sticks are my preferred way of using Daniel Smith watercolors because you get full pure pigment sticks, or you get full pigment sticks that you can cut down and put into half pans, and there you will have instant or half pan watercolors. So let's take a look here. Now I have a bag because I have several different versions of the watercolor. As I told you guys, I started with the initial 6-tube mixing set. As you can see, I've used them up because I do actually love Daniel Smith watercolors, although you don't hear me talking about them a lot. And as you can see, those pans have taken quite a bit of wear and tear. Now for this video, what we are promoting and what is going to be given away in the giveaway is a 5 paint stick set. Now these are basically enough colors to get you started with mixing and painting and having a wonderful time. I'll go through the ones that are included. And these are individuals, but the ones that come in the giveaway will be in a pack. I'm sorry that I do not have that to show to you at the moment, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. So the first color is going to be quinacridone coral. There will be a lamp black, a phthalo green yellow shade, a Hansa yellow medium, as well as a cobalt blue included in that package, if I'm not mistaken. All those are in this set along with this original 6. And then I've ordered in between those some extra paint sticks, because this is when I first discovered them and decided I was going to switch over from the tubes. And in here there is a alizarin crimson, ultramarine blue, no, I'm sorry, phthalo blue green shade, alizarin crimson, and bismuth yellow, which you guys have heard me talk about in a video before. All of that made its way into this palette. So I do have a warm and a cool, well, with this, at least there is a warm and a cool yellow, warm and a cool red, warm and a cool blue. Then there is a phthalo green and a lamp black, which was enough colors to give me a really good mixing set and to allow me to experience other colors in between the coolest of the cool and the warmest of the warm in each of the primaries. So I really enjoyed, or have really been enjoying, working with this, and I will be ordering additional paint sticks to build out my Daniel Smith palette as time goes along. Daniel Smith, as you know, is a professional brand, American-made watercolor, which is known for its transparency, its ability to layer, its flow. Well, it's semi-flow, because I found that some of them flow really well, some of them don't move as well as others. But the great thing about it is they all have their own characteristics, which is what I have come to expect when we talk about a professional watercolor. Now, I wanted to show you guys the swatching sheet for these, because as I said, I have not reviewed these on the channel yet, and maybe I will, maybe I won't get around to their review. The honest to God truth is, Daniel Smith is such a popular brand that there are probably already 1 million reviews on it on YouTube and across blogs on the internet that you could easily access if you wanted to get some really popular opinions for some well-respected artists in the art community on Daniel Smith. Now, here is my swatching sheet inside my swatching book, which is 100% cotton paper, where I did swatch out all of the colors in my normal 3-layer swatching method in order to see the saturation, the opacity that could be built from layering the colors on top of each other. I did skip around here because I wanted to leave room for additional colors that I will be adding to the palette as time goes on, as I mentioned earlier. Beautiful range of paints just with what I have here. And I do feel like what is going to come in the prize giveaway package is a robust enough introductory set for you to really get started in experiencing a really great professional quality watercolor. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, friends, now that we know what watercolors we are going to be getting in the prize package, we've taken a look a little bit more in depth at what was used in the video. We are going to jump into talking about the giveaway. So we'll move into the giveaway section, where again, I'll re-announce week 1's winner, I will announce week 2's winner, and we will take a closer look at everything that comes in week 3 prize package and let you know what you have to do to qualify for the random giveaway drawing. Okay, friends, let us move into the giveaway section of the video. We are going to start off by re-announcing week 1's winner. Week 1's winner, which was the winner of the 30-minute animal watercolor book by Matthew Palmer, the Mealing Pretty Excellent 36 count molded set of watercolor paints, as well as the zebra composition that I painted in that video, was Annette Farrow 2825. Again, Annette Farrow 2825, you have yet to claim your prize, so you are up for it, sis. Let's talk about week 2. Week 2, my friends, included the 30-minute flower watercolor book by Ann Mortimer. It included the Art Well 24 half pan watercolor set, as well as the composition I painted, which was of the Rosebud. The winner for week 2 is Difficulty. Difficulty, congratulations to both the winners of week 1 and week 2. Please, please, please stay tuned for how to claim your prize as we move into talking about the prize package for today's giveaway, which is week 3. Keeping in mind that you will have up until 11:59 on this upcoming Friday, 11:59 p.m. this upcoming Friday to enter for the random drawing for this giveaway. So let's start here. We will have a fresh copy of the book that we used in today's video, the Ready to Paint in 30-Minute Trees and Woodlands in Watercolor by Geoff Kersey. Of course, you will be getting the composition I painted in today's video, which was Summer Trees. You can either frame it. It is cut down to gift card to greeting card size, so you can give it away as a greeting card, or you can frame it for yourself as a piece of original artwork by your own Thrifty Apprentice. Today's giveaway paints will be the 5 paint sticks from Daniel Smith in an introductory set, and we did name those colors earlier in the video. So you will get a 5 paint stick introductory set of Daniel Smith extra fine paint sticks. Wonderful, wonderful watercolor starting mixing set there. To include with that, I will be giving the Kirk and Spock Star Trek lunch box, Altoid 10, and 5 empty half pans that you can put magnets on the back of. Cut your paint sticks down, put them into the half pans, drop the half pans into your Altoid 10, and there you have your very own introductory palette of your 5 paint sticks. I think that's going to be really cute for somebody to play around with. You will also be getting the Art Well 10-piece brush set with a foldable wallet included for storage. These are golden Taclon synthetic brushes, which I have personally used and think that they are really good brushes, whether you are starting out or whether you just need some extra brushes to add to your collection for studio painting or travel painting. And last but not least, you will also receive 1 student grade handmade Defyantarts Thrifty Apprentice sketchbook, which I made myself right here in the studio and it is bound with student grade paper, so it will be a wonderful little travel book to sketch and practice with. And that, my friends, is today's prize package. I think it is pretty robust. I think it's going to be great for anyone who's beginning, especially with this watercolor set, or for someone who is just looking to expand. All you have to do, jump in the comments section and let me know how you were introduced to art. How were you introduced to art? What was that wonderful, miraculous moment when you realized this is something that was going to be a part of your life for the rest of your life? One of your answers will be randomly chosen, as they have before, in order to pick the winner for today's prize package. I'm super, super excited about this. And I'm going to be honest with you, friends. I'm even more excited about the last giveaway video coming out next Sunday. So you want to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you do not miss next week's video. It is going to be pretty amazing, I have to say so. All of this is sponsored by Defyantarts, your very own Thrifty Apprentice, in conjunction with DECA, the Defyantarts Creation Association, who has so generously stepped in to help back all of these giveaways. Great big shout out to them and a great big hand clap. Very appreciative of all the support and love that pours into the channel so that we can continue to outpour to the art community. So friends, If you are a winner of week 1 or week 2, you simply need to email me at thethriftyapprentice@gmail.com. Let me know which week you won. We will do all verification and confirmation and get those prize packages out to you as soon as possible. Again, week 1, Annette Farrows, 2825. Week 2, difficulty E. You are up. The ball is in your court to send that email so we can get the prize packages out to you. There, my friends, is today's video. Hopefully you have enjoyed hanging out with me. You enjoyed painting with me, talking about the educational resources, and going through all of the giveaway goodies, nickies, and neckies. If you have, do not forget to sprinkle a little love and give this video a thumbs up. Share the video. Maybe someone else out there in the art world has not seen this and would love to take a part in the giveaway process. Sharing is caring, and both your likes and sharing will help get the video out in front of other wonderful viewers like yourself. As I said before, please do subscribe. Hit that subscription button and notification bell so you do not miss when we go live or upload here in the thrifty corner of the world. The comment section is where you enter the giveaway. Let me know how you got started in art. When did you realize this is going to be what I do for the rest of my life? Pretty simple. And we're going to choose a random winner, which we will announce in week 4's video next Sunday. Do not forget, you have until 11:59 this upcoming Friday to get those comments in on the video so you can be a part of the giveaway. You can check the video description for all of the relevant links. The Defiant Art website, the link to purchase the Defiant Art Bamboo Voyager palette, the first branded product released from the studio. You can check the most recommended product list for products that are great on the pocket and wonderful in the studio, and all other relevant links. With that, my friend, I want you to remember what I tell you at the end of every single video. Just keep creating.